LP2000 right back at you with another video. Yes, welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews on behalf of Summit Kaiju, on behalf of Collect All Monsters. And I'm back again. It's that time of the year again. It's December. It's the end of the year. We're about come to an end of this horrendous year. Oh my God, 2020. It has not been the best year for a lot of people, me included. But there are some great things to be happy about of this year of 2020. And as you can see here, that will be the topic of this video of today. Today we are covering my X Plus 2020 haul. Yes, I will talk about pretty much, or at least document, every single X Plus figure that I was able to acquire in this year of 2020. Once again, like I just said, I know with 2020, it has not been the best year for a lot of us. You know, with COVID, you know, the heated political tensions, you know, amongst people here in America, just people not being able to work, people been forced to segregate. It has not been the best year. And a lot of us had been depending upon outside outlets to keep us sane, pretty much, or keep us happy during these difficult times. And for me, it's been collecting, you know. And of course, if you don't know, I am a truck driver. I am an essential worker. So pretty much my life has not stopped since the pandemic. Unlike a lot of folks, which I really feel bad about, but my job has kept going, and I've done some things here and there to cut back what I would normally do on a regular year. Like I didn't go on vacations. I really didn't go out to eat, spending money on out to eat foods, you know, or going out to eat fast food or whatever. Mostly relied on cooked foods, home cooked foods. So I've been able to save some money here and there. And along with my responsibilities, you know, car payment, mortgage, phone, food, whatever, I was able to still maintain my collecting endeavors. And as you can see here, I've been pretty much busy for this year of 2020. I've gotten some great things that came out this year of 2020, and I was able to get my hands on some past figures that I wasn't able to get, you know, before, but I managed to snag them this year. So without further ado, let's dive head first into what I got for myself in this year of 2020, and we're gonna start from the foreground and work ourselves back into the background. All right. I got my hands on the X Plus Devil Real King Caesar, 1974, Rick exclusive edition, excuse me. I got my hands on the Devil Real Monsterverse King Ghidorah, standard edition. Got my hands on the Devil Real 74 Godzilla, Rick exclusive edition. Got my hands on the standard Devil Real Monsterverse Mothra, 2019, yes, yes, yes. Got my hands on the Devil Real Rodan Monsterverse, Rick exclusive edition. Got my hands on the Rick exclusive edition of the Devil Real Mechagodzilla 1974. Got my hands on the Star Ace / X Plus Kong 2.0 deluxe version. Yes, with the awesome base and the awesome chain and propeller in Kong's hand. Oh my God, that's a great figure. Yes, it is. It's my most favorite Kong figure from the Monsterverse thus far. It is a great figure. Got my hands on the Devil Real Technicolor version set of Anguirus and Godzilla 1955 from Godzilla Raise Again. Got my hands on both the Rick exclusive editions of the Devil Real Hedra and the Devil Real Godzilla 1971 from the epic film Godzilla vs. Hedra. Got my hands on the 25cm Battle Damage Gamera in 1999. Awesome figure. Got my hands on the Favorite Sculptor's Line 30cm Gamera 1965. Rick exclusive edition, yes, yes, yes. I also got for myself, yes, one of the top runners of figure of the year with the X Plus 30cm Yuji Sakai Rick exclusive edition of the 1984 Godzilla. Yes, yes, yes. Got my hands on both Rick exclusive editions of the Devil Real Orga with the big mouth, as well as Godzilla 2000 of 1999. Yes, yes, yes. Got my hands on the 25cm Rick exclusive edition of Godzilla 2019. Yes, yes, yes. Got my hands on the standard edition of the 30cm 1993 Godzilla. Awesome figure. Got my hands on the classic one. Yes, the 30cm 1964 Rodan that came with the Rick Mini flying version of Rodan 1964. Yes, yes, yes. Got my hands on the big guy right here. Yes, the Gigantic Series standard edition of Godzilla 1964. Got my hands on the Devil Real fourth form edition of Shin Godzilla. It's the clear version with the clear red vinyl. Awesome figure. Here in the background, in his multicolored glory, the Rick exclusive edition of the 1964 King Ghidorah. Yes, yes, yes. Of course, beside him is the Rick exclusive edition of the 25 centimeter Iris. Once again, another groundbreaking figure that came out this year, 2020. I got my hands on the Wonderfest Gargantuas. Yes, that came out in 2011. That awesome set. Yes, yes, yes. I reclaimed one of my most favorite Godzilla figures and incarnations of all time with the X Plus 30 centimeter 1964 Godzilla with the blue dorsal plates. Woo! I've been searching for this guy for years and years and years, and I was able to snag him. Actually, it's one of the first figures I got for myself this year, so I started off this year with the bang. Alongside him, another figure that I didn't think I was going to get for myself. I got my hands on the 30 centimeter 1954 Godzilla Wonderfest Rick exclusive figure. Yes, the colored version is the natural colored version. Woo! Great, 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 great figure. Let's see what else is in there. Oh, I got the Death for Real Kong 2.0 with the squid wrapped around him, looking awesome. Got my hands on the 1993 Godzilla 30 centimeter, but it's the Rick version. Yes, I double dip. I got both the standard and the Rick. And let's see what else is over there. I think that is it, pretty much. Oh! My fault. My fault. In my opinion, probably the best figure to come from X Plus in this year, 2020. Without further ado, the one, the only, the X Plus Gigantic Series Rick exclusive edition of the 1974 Mechagodzilla. Woo! And you know what? That is my haul. That is it. You know? And I'm proud of myself. Even though, like I said, this year has sucked in a lot of ways. I'm glad and I feel blessed I was able to still keep working and still was able to, you know, grab these treasures and grab these figures, because I know a lot of people were not in the same boat as I am, or I was, I should say. So I really feel bad about that. But once again, in this year of just overall sheer bad stuff, you know, very few positive things came out this year. But at the same time, this is a positive thing. I have not contracted COVID. My wife has not contracted COVID. I was still able to keep working. I've been on this awesome endeavor with Collect All Monsters. So even though there's a lot of stuff to complain about, personally from my point of view, there's a lot more stuff to be thankful for and be blessed for. And these are one of the few things that I truly feel blessed in this year 2020. Because as I always say, things can get a whole lot worse, you know. I want to give a huge shout out to a few people that did help me get a few of these figures. Of course, my wife, Sandra, I love you so much. Thank you for helping me get the Gigantic 64 here, the Rodan 1964. You have been an angel on so many different levels. Once again, one of the best things about being a Kaiju collector or an X Plus collector is the fact that you have a person, a spouse that not only collects themselves, but just supports you and just be there for you no matter what. So thank you so much, Sandra, for doing that for me. I really do appreciate it. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to Mike Johnson, Jason Weller from Awesome Collector. He just came through, you know, when pretty much everything shut down as far as like the shipping process of these figures or commodities from Japan in general. I know for a fact he has ate up a lot of the costs of getting these figures to us when EMS shut down. So I want to give a huge special shout out to him. The folks at Kaiju Live, AJ, Frank, Kelly, the Russos, thank you for helping me out with a few of these figures. I really do appreciate it. Kayla Howard, thank you for the Death for Reals of Hedra and the GMK Death for Reals, Rick's exclusive edition. Thank you very much. Vincent Perez, thank you for the Mothra Death for Real. You know, I really do appreciate it. So if I missed your name, if I did get a figure from you, blame it on the mind, not the heart. I really do appreciate it. Pretty much every single person that has helped me get what you see here, I highly thank you. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. Now, before I roll up out of here, I do have a few rapid fire questions that I normally ask myself when I go through my hauls at the end of the year. So let me just pull this up right fast. I got like maybe 10 and then that's it. All right, here's the first. What is my favorite Rick release of this year of 2020? Well, if we're talking about the figures that came out just this year alone, I would say probably Iris, because at first, honestly, I got the standard version, but once again, COVID has impacted the shipping process of these figures, and a lot of figures got pushed back, delay after delay after delay on so many different figures that I originally was going to go for the standard, but I happened to get my hands on a Rick instead, and the light up on the Rick Iris here is awesome. It is amazing. It's one of the best light ups that I've seen in a very, 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 very long time. So in terms of my favorite Rick release of this year, 2020, without a shadow of a doubt, the X Plus 25 centimeter Iris. Now, which figure do I wish I would have double dipped on? Let's see. Now, I'm pretty much happy with everything that I've gotten this year, you know. Now, in terms of figures that came out this year, 2020, the one that comes to mind, honestly, is the Devil Real Mothra. You know, I wish I would have got my hands on the Rick, because, you know, I got the standard, courtesy of Vincent Perez. Thank you very much. And that's the thing. I initially passed on the Mothra in general, but after seeing pictures pop up on the Facebook groups that I'm a part of, I was like, you know what, I do want that figure. And then once I got, and then when I saw the Rick, I was like, wow, it looks great. And I ended up getting the Rick for Sandra for her birthday. And after seeing the two in person, I kind of like the Rick more. So I wish I would have got that for myself, but hey, we got it in the household, so I can just observe hers and be happy with her, seeing hers. But there's a small part of me that does want the Rick for myself. So that's the answer to that question. The Rick Devil Real Mothra. I wish I would have double dipped on that one. Now, what figure did I pass on initially, but I ended up getting it anyways? A couple, as a matter of fact. I just mentioned the Devil Real Mothra. Once again, I wasn't feeling Mothra at first in terms of design of what we saw in the movie, as well as the figure here when it was first announced. But once again, once I saw it in people's hands, I kind of turned around on it, you know, and I ended up getting it regardless, and I'm glad I did, because it is my second most favorite Devil Real release of this year, 2020. And I got my hands on my favorite sculptor's line, 1965. I want to give a huge shout out to Paul Costa. I got it through him. He had the pre-order, but he didn't want it anymore, so I took over the pre-order for him, and I ended up getting it. Because once again, let me mention, the 1965 Gamera isn't one of my favorite incarnations of Gamera, but I don't have one in my collection prior to his arrival. So it was like really like the stars were aligned for me to get this figure. Because I didn't pre-order at first, you know. But once I saw that he was trying to get somebody to take over his pre-order, I was like, you know what? I do have a few dollars set aside at the time, and I don't have a 65 Gamera in my collection. And I'm a huge Gamera fan, as you know. It's like, you know what? I'm going to go after that one. So those two in particular that I passed on initially, but I ended up getting them anyways. The Devil Real Mothra 2019 and the Favorite Sculptors Line Gamera 1965. Now, what figure did I go standard on, but I should have went Rick? Let's see. What figure came out that I should have went Rick when I went standard on? Because I double dipped on the 93, as I mentioned. I'm probably going to go back to the Devil Real Mothra. You know, I wish I would have got the Rick. You know, but then again, I would have double dipped, you know. But once again, we have one in the house, courtesy of Sandra, so I'm not going to really hate on that. And vice versa. What figure did I go Rick on, but I should have went standard? And ironically, and I love the figure to death, and it's one of my favorite, if not my favorite acquisition thus far this year, of 2020, it's the Gigantic Mechagodzilla. I wish I would have went for the standard, because the light up, now don't get me wrong, there's two light ups in the figure itself. His beam in his chest, his chest flaps open, and it's like that little small beam that shoot out his chest lightning attack beam, right? And his eyes. But the eyes, they don't light up a true yellowish amber like it was in the film. Ironically, the Devil Real Mechagodzilla 74 has a better light up in his eyes than the Gigantic, which is kind of ironic. So looking back on it now, I wish I would have got the standard of the Gigantic Mechagodzilla, but it's still a great figure nonetheless. So that's the answer to that question. Now, what is my favorite Devil Real acquisition of this year? Without a shadow of a doubt, Orga. I got the Big Mouth Orga. Now, they did two versions of Orga, courtesy of the Devil Real line, right? They did the regular Orga with his mouth is closed, and it came with a little mini squid Orga alien as the Rick accessory, right? Then they came out with the bigger mouth Orga. Now, let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen. I have never been a fan of Orga. I'm still not, to a certain extent. I like the movie Godzilla 2000, but in terms of a monster, I have never really been a big Orga fan. But until I saw this figure, and once I saw it, I was like, wow, I need to have that in my collection. And it makes me very hopeful at some point that we'll get a 30 centimeter version of this version of Organ with the big mouth, you know, whatever. So you can put the 30 centimeter Godzilla 2000 that X-Plus has done in his mouth. But in terms of like great depth reveals, they've done great depth reveals this year alone with the Monsterverse Rodan, Monsterverse King Ghidorah, Monsterverse Mothra, King Caesar, you know, 74 Godzilla, Space Godzilla, you know, the depth reveal Burning Godzilla 2019, Mechagodzilla 74. But out of all of them, my most favorite one is, of course, the depth reveal Big Mouth Orga. Yes, yes, yes. Now, my next question is, what figure do I find most underrated this year? What figure do I feel should have gotten more love this year? That's a tough one. Honestly, you know what? I'm looking at it right now. The Monsterverse King Ghidorah. Yes, yes, yes. I know that figure. It came out, one of the earliest figures that came out this year alone, right? And it wasn't well received. It got a mixed bag of reactions from a lot of different people. You know, the paint app doesn't rub people the right way. The fact that it came with the neck stand wasn't really sitting right with a lot of people. But I think it's a great figure, you know. I know I may seem biased because I am a King Ghidorah fan, but it's really not that bad once you get it in person, you know. The neck stand doesn't really bother me because in terms of how the figure is structured, you know, you need the neck stand for a King Ghidorah to stand up right or to be positioned properly, because we don't want to have him do what Rodan does, right? You know, having taken nosedives off his shelves, then he gets scuffed up, you know. So while I agree with some folks that the paint app could have been a little bit better, I still find it to be a great figure and really underrated in my opinion. So what I find most underrated as far as like a figure is concerned, courtesy of X Plus that came out this year, 2020, definitely is the Death of Real Monsterverse King Ghidorah. Now, what figure do I find most overrated? The one that is overhyped. Let's see. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb and say I don't find any figure that came out this year really overrated, you know? Now, are there figures that I passed on? I passed on the Death of Real Space Godzilla. I passed on the Death of Real Burning Godzilla 2019. There are a few figures I didn't get for myself. But I think every single figure that they came out this year really has been a blessing because, you know, what's been going on with the pandemic. It's lucky that X Plus put out any figures at all, quite frankly, because the customer base was not as strong as it was on a regular year, because once again, a lot of people were out of work and they didn't have any extra disposable income to pay for these figures. So X Plus then puts out a lot of products that they normally would have. You know, in a perfect world, you know, we probably would have saw the release of Megalon this year, right? Or maybe another Gigantic aside from the limited run that the you know, the second Gigantic Shem Purple edition, you know, saw. You know, so we probably could have seen more figures come out this year if the pandemic didn't exist. But in terms of figures that I find to be overrated overall, I think every figure was great. So I don't have an answer to that question, quite frankly. If you think this one is overrated, put it down in the comment section. Or if you found one that was underrated, put it down in the comment section. Now, what figure was the biggest disappointment? Without a shadow of a doubt, personally for me, the 25 centimeter 2019. And that's in terms of me personally, because I got the Rick, right? And the Rick came with an awesome light up, but mine unfortunately didn't work. On day one, it didn't work. I was one of the few people that had a dud on their first, you know, 2019 Godzilla 25 centimeter, you know? And that was hard. That was hard because I put it in and Sandra was right there with me and we flicked it and Sandra was like, that thing supposed to light up, right? We tried everything. We tried different batteries. We tried different battery packs. We put it in upward, sideways, backwards. It just didn't work. I had a dud, you know, and I wasn't the only one. There have been a few reports of this figure coming in just not working, which really didn't sit right with a lot of people. But a good majority of people that did get this figure did have the light up work, and in my opinion, it's one of the best light ups that I've seen. And quite frankly, if mine would have lit up, it probably would have got my favorite as my favorite Rick exclusive release of this year. But since it doesn't work, that designation went to Irish, you know. But as far as like disappointment, because I want this thing to light up so bad, you know, but it didn't. And I know I could have very easily sent it back to Japan and probably got a new one, but I didn't want to go through all that, quite frankly. And, you know, when they do eventually make the X plus 25cm version of the MonsterVerse King Ghidorah, you're going to need this Godzilla to go up against him. So it does have some value. Plus the blue shading on all over the body, you know, whatever the highlights here and there on the body. It's great. It's just, it doesn't line up. But it's still a great figure nonetheless. But in terms of it not lighting up, it was a major disappointment. And my biggest disappointment of this year, 2020. Now, which is the one figure that got away that I wish I would have gotten, and that was actually the X Plus Gigantic Series Ultraman Ace. Now the reason why I didn't get this figure because I have not seen the Ultraman Ace TV show, and I operate under a rule of thumb that I don't invest in figures that I don't know anything about. Right? You all know I love Ultra 7. He's my favorite Ultra Warrior. I'm into Ultraman a little bit, but I have not gotten into the other Ultraman, Ultra Warrior behind them. You know, like Ultraman Ace, Ultraman Tara, Ultraman Jack, even the Heisei ones, Tiga, Dino, whatever. So I would have gotten Ultraman Ace if I was into the show, but I'm not seeing one episode of the show yet. But according to Robert Dwyer, since, you know, I'm a huge fan of the 70s Godzilla films, and he recommends if you're going to go into Ace, you know, if you're a fan of the 70s Godzilla films, then you will be a fan of Ultraman Ace, or Ultraman Jack, or the Return of Ultraman, or whatever, or Tara, or whatever. So I need to watch the show first before I invest in the figure. But that's the one that got away. But once again, I've not seen the show yet, so that's like the closest answer to that question that I'm going to get here. Okay, now, what was my favorite classic old school figure acquisition that I got for myself this year? And that's the thing. I stayed on top of a lot of the current crop of releases that came out this year, but I was able to snag a few older classic X Plus Godzilla figures that you don't really see nowadays, right? And if you do see them, they go for a high price. You know, with the X Plus Gigantic Series Standard Edition of the 1964 Godzilla, as I mentioned, I got the Wonderfest Gargantuas, the Wonderfest 1954 Godzilla, of course, my reclaiming of the 1964 Godzilla with the blue dorsal plates, Rodan 1964 Rick. Probably my favorite one out of all of them. That's tough because I love them all, you know. But if I had to pick one, it's actually me reclaiming the 1964 Godzilla with the blue dorsal plates. I let it go a long time ago, and ever since then I've been trying to track it down, and I was able to look into it early this year, and I'm glad to have it back. And it's not going anywhere, so don't ask me. It is staying here. It is never leaving my side ever again. So to answer that question, yes, my favorite classic old school figure acquisition of this year that I got for myself this year, is of course the S Plus 30cm 1964 Godzilla with the blue dorsal plates. Now, what is my favorite 2020 figure release or figure acquisition without a shadow of a doubt? I know I was hating on the Rick accessory that came with this figure, but it's my favorite of this year, 2020, and that is the X Plus Gigantic Series Rick exclusive edition of the 1974 Showa Mechagodzilla. Yes, that is my pick for figure of the year. But as far as like personally, my favorite figure acquisition of this year, 2020, that came out in 2020, of course, the X Plus Gigantic Series Rick exclusive edition of the 1974 Showa Mechagodzilla. And finally, no, not finally, two more questions, then we out of here. What was my favorite X Plus announcement this year? Actually, when they announced the upcoming X Plus Gigantic Series 1954, courtesy of the Favorite Sculptors line, you know, that came out, that we saw at that show. I forgot what month it was. I think it was November, I think. There was a show, I think, at Super Festival, and they show a prototype of a new gigantic 1954 Godzilla, courtesy of the Favorite Sculptors line, which is awesome because this is the second time they're going back to the 54 in the Gigantic Series. Now it's being released also in the Favorite Sculptors line. So that was my favorite announcement from X Plus that's coming next year. I can't wait, you know. I can't wait for that figure, quite frankly. And my last question that I have for myself is what is my favorite figure acquisition overall of this year, 2020? And without a shadow of a doubt, it is the X Plus Gigantic Series 1964 Godzilla. I explained this in our most recent episode of Collect All Monsters. The reason why this is my favorite is because I wasn't expecting to get this. I got this through the awesome folks of Kaiju Live, right? And AJ and them, they have like a regular Sunday YouTube a Kaiju collectible auction show. And on this particular show in October, he was selling this, And my wife asked me before we watched the show, because we pretty much watch it regularly, right? And she asked me before the show came on, is there something that he's going to be selling tonight that you may want to get your hands on? I was like, yeah, I do want this. And she was like, you know what? I know you love the 64. I know you want that figure. So I know it makes you happy. So seeing you happy makes me happy. So you know what? We're going to get it. And I wasn't expecting that, quite frankly. So because of that, and because she is such an angel, and because, she's the best thing in the world to me, the fact that she supports me and supports my hobby, supports my YouTubing, everything involving Godzilla, and she partakes in it along with me, this is a very, very sentimental release and a sentimental acquisition for me. And because of that, this earns my top favorite figure acquisition of the year of 2020. But once again, I had a blast collecting figures in 2020. Like I said, in a year that's been really, really just not the best in the world. It's funny that I relied on a dangerous fire-breathing dinosaur and other monsters, other city-destroying monsters to really make me happy. But they have done that. I know they've done that for a lot of people. And once again, I've had an awesome time. Once again, thank you to Sandra. Thank you to AJ and the Russos at Kaiju Live. Thank you to Mike Johnson, Jason Wellen, Kayla Howard, Vincent Perez. Thank you to everybody that has helped me get figures this year. This is awesome. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, my X Plus 2020 haul. Yes, I think I've done good for myself. Just a little bit. I'm looking forward to all the stuff that's coming that we know of right now at this point in time in the year of 2021. We got Megalon coming, the Favorite Sculptors line, Gigantic 54, the Favorite Sculptors line, Rodan 1964, the exclusive edition of the 2019 Godzilla, but it's going to be in a burning mode, whatever. The Death of Real Gamma 1996, Jiger. There's so much stuff that we know of right now that is coming, and I'm sure there's a lot of stuff that we don't know, awesome stuff that is coming in 2021. And I can't wait, because I'm already guessing that 2021 is going to be a better year than 2020. Because in my opinion, when you're down, you can't go anywhere but up. So I think 2021 will be a better year for us all. So I thank you so much for watching this video. Once again, my X Plus 2020 haul. I encourage my fellow YouTubers, Phil the Kaiju King, Richard Eso, Samson West, William from the Godzilla Files, AJ Russo, Brutezilla. If you're a Kaiju YouTuber that collects X Plus figures, I would love to see your haul. What did you get for yourself in the year 2020? As well as my subscribers and my viewers here, what did you get for yourself in the year 2020? Pipe down in the comment section and let me know so we can go back and forth. But once again, this is my haul, and I thank every single one of you, every single one of the people that helped me get these figures for making this possible right here on Leslie Chambers Kaiju Reviews. Yes. So thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it, and I will see y'all again on the next figure move review. All right? Y'all take it easy.